Salman, let's say this was not a BJP government and this was a government in the center led by your party. It is not that, the police would feel any differently under your party. They would be bundle of nerves. Anything goes wrong, they're going to be blamed. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Is it your point that holding the G20 meet in Srinagar is the problem? Also, may I remind you of what Mr. Bilawal Bhutto said when he was in Goa at the SCO forum, literally threatening India on Indian soil, saying "Waqt aane par yaad dila denge, theek, jawab de denge," and so on. Uh, you know, your I want to understand more clearly your misgivings today.
Barkha, this whole debate has been dominated by the security question. Frankly, I'm not that concerned about it. I'm not an expert on security. I am a Kashmiri and I am an expert on Kashmir. And as far as I'm concerned, the most important thing to me and to the people of Kashmir is how they are treated with dignity, how they have real peace, how there's not somebody telling them these people are happy. Like Mr. Gupta seems to think Shikarawala is happy, Salman Soz is happy, everybody's happy. Please don't tell me what my life is about. I'm not telling you what your life is about. So don't stop putting your thoughts into my mind. I have my own mind. And I can tell you that till the people of Kashmir are treated with respect and dignity properly, the way it is supposed to be, what you see is this calm, but under the calm, there's a storm. Under the surface, there's a storm. There's a storm brewing. And I think the only way to deal with such things, when you deal with people, is through humanity. Unless we talk like that, nothing's going to change. We can have all sorts of discussions about what the positioning is, what the geopolitics is, what the security situation is, but we will not get to the real stuff. What is the real stuff? That we have people who want to be treated with respect, who want to be given back their dignity, who cannot be disenfranchised, who cannot be disempowered. And by the way, that is not just about the people of Kashmir, that is for the entire country. And that is the way you have to treat people. That is when I talk about federal system.
Can I ask you though, Ambassador Katju did recognize that there is a domestic political debate around what the best policy is ongoing. If the matter is before the Supreme Court, all of that is taken. Why does it have something to do for you with the G20? Like for me, I think you can have two parallel conversations. The G20 is India saying something to the rest of the world. It's not India saying something negative to its own people.
Barkha, I'll give you an example. I'll give you why this rankles sometimes. The other day I was on Twitter and I saw some trend on Global Kashmir, and it had the same message written in poor English about how Kashmir, J&K, had become a net exporter of agricultural products. And I thought it was very surprising. I thought it was very pleasant in some ways that J&K has suddenly become a net exporter of agricultural products by linking it to global value chains. And I am an economist. I know a little bit about this stuff. I put out a Facebook post saying that if this is true, in such a short span of time that J&K has become an agricultural kind of exporter, then we should spread this message across the country, because if J&K can do it, everybody else can do it. This is, to my mind, President Trump's visit to Ahmedabad.
Are you being negative?
When President Trump came and they put all these slums behind curtains of some sort.
This is not the same thing. Okay, let me get Brigadier Gupta to respond. Brigadier Gupta, I need to start taking last comments. I'll start with you, then General Dua, and then Ambassador Katju gets the last word. Yes.
Okay, Barkha, I must tell you that I'm not speaking off the cuff. I visit Srinagar and Kashmir for 7 days in every month. I am now with the Jammu and Kashmir Cricket Association. I have conducted cricket talent hunts in the farthest corners of Kashmir. I have met people. I meet people across the board, and I get to know the pulse of the people. I'm not speaking from my room or for sitting on my chair. So I'm telling Mr. Soz, please accept what I'm saying. It's what I'm saying is the pulse of the people. I'm speaking their heart out. I'm not telling you what you may be, but I'm just speaking on behalf of those people I've met. I'm sincerely speaking on their behalf. And as far as you're talking of GDP from 8% in 2008 to 14% in 2023. Isn't it better? It is. Certainly, Jammu and Kashmir is changing. There is a change. So therefore, let's accept it. And lastly, I would say that this G20 meet, Y20 has been held in Ladakh. I think somebody mentioned why it should not be held in Leh. It has been held in Leh, Y20 meet. And this is the third meeting of the tourism. Two places other than this already has been held in
Yeah.
India.
Okay. General Dua, if you had to say one thing that has changed, Salman says that, there is a certain element of dressing up going on here. You would say what?
Um, well, I would say, let me also give a small claimer. I mean, not disclaimer. Give me a claimer that I am from Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry. All my soldiers in my regiment are from Jammu and Kashmir only. So, and majority is Kashmiris. So you have to understand that. Now, majority are Muslims. Sorry. So now, the the impression that I gather is, in the last 3 years, there has been a lot of there are different indices have improved, development, better administration, panchayat elections, all that has happened that we know. I'm not going to repeat that. I am not saying the alienation is not there. All I'm saying that alienation is there, and for alienation to go, it will take a while. I mean, something that has gone wrong for more than 3 decades cannot change overnight. That will take time. It may take a generation or two. But the fact is also as to how many people have started benefiting from the new schemes, from the infrastructure, from the new business opportunities, from the new environment that has been created in every field, from the investments that are pouring in. I think to that extent, what Brigadier Gupta was bringing out earlier, all those whose rosy roti daily livelihoods depend on tourism certainly are going to benefit, have been benefiting in the last 3 years. And this is a good statement that is being put out for the foreign tourist more than the domestic audience.
Yeah, I think that last sentence is the operative point, Ambassador Kaju. And let me give you the last word. There can be many different opinions on, restoration of statehood for Jammu and Kashmir, when elections will be held, all of those conversations, what the Supreme Court will decide. But I think today is about signaling something to the world outside, in particular to China and Pakistan. Salman seems to be implying, and I don't mean to speak for him, is that you can't say something to the outside world without speaking inside, and you've got to do both together. I'll give you the last word.
No, I think there is a distinction here. The distinction is that our anything which is within our internal sphere has to be resolved in the internal sphere. The outside world has no place. Neither Pakistan nor China have anything to do with center state relations, center UT relations. That is for us to resolve. And if Salman and people like him from the Kashmir Valley have a certain feeling, I think that those feelings need to be addressed. And I'm confident that the government is alive to the need of addressing these feelings. That is point one. Point two, for some strange reason, which I've never been able to divine, the Pakistanis, who were no great admirers of Article 370, suddenly started saying after 2019 that the changes that were made were actually uh, going back on commitments, bilateral and multilateral, that India had given. That wasn't simply true. For the Pakistanis, the right approach should have been that this is an internal matter of India. For us, the Kashmir issue status has remained unchanged, and move along. But they haven't done so. They've remained fixed. And Bilaval's intemperate comments have only underlined that morass that they've got themselves into, and they can't get out of it. So I think this particular meeting has been of surpassing significance.